Today is an interesting day to be a Vancouver Canucks fan, and no, we're not referring to the Frank Saravalli, Philip Pronik, Michael Bublé talk. That is an entirely other conversation in itself, and we're not going to dive into that here. Instead, we're going to be focusing on some of the comments made by folks on Donnie and Dolly. We're also going to be talking about Sportsnet 650 stuff, because there's a lot of Vancouver Canucks forward updates that we can go over, starting out with this one tweeted out by Rick Dollywall earlier this morning. Agent Dan Milstein has permission to help facilitate an Ilya Mikheyev trade. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Huge dub. I get it. You could say, oh, just because the agent has the opportunity to start shopping his client around doesn't always mean the guy's going to get traded. Yeah, I know, man. We had talked about this last year. Brock Besser had the same thing happen to him and his $6-point-something million AAV contract in 2023. He had the agent facilitating a trade and trying to get things done. Guess what? There was no trade. Brock Besser stayed, and he ended up becoming a lot better than any of us could have imagined. Now, I don't expect the same thing out of Ilya Mikheyev. I'm sorry, I don't think he's got that 40-goal, 70-point potential in his repertoire at all. But still, hearing this from Rick Dollywall that Mikheyev is finally, officially, we could even say, on the block, they're shopping him around. This is going to be maybe the biggest Canucks-related cap move that you could talk about in the next few weeks here. Ilya Mikheyev and his $4.7 million AAV contract, they need to find a way to get this out. Seriously. The guy doesn't provide a fraction of $4.7 million worth of value on the ice. And honestly, the fact that the agent is getting involved here, needing to step in and help out in making a trade, it already signals that there is some difficulty that the Canucks have had. Really, in an ideal world, trades happen because the GMs talk and the GM says, hey, we have a guy, you want him? And the other GM says, okay, great, we want him. But Patrick Allvin already in a spot where he's asking other GMs about him. Nobody's saying yes. Nobody's saying that they want Ilya Mikheyev, especially at that dollar amount. So now it's time for the agent to step in saying, hey, my guy, Ilya Mikheyev, he's this, he's that, he's fast, he's Russian, he can be a mentor, he could do this, he could do that. You should trade for him, and now he needs to be kind of like the wingman to help set everything up. It's indicative of the trade status of the player at hand, because all of a sudden teams are all saying, no, we don't want this guy. And you got to remember, Mikheyev has a modified no-trade list. He's got a 12-team no-trade list, so he's only able to be traded to the remaining 19 NHL teams, of course not including the Vancouver Canucks themselves. So Mikheyev, 4.75 till the end of 2025-2026. They're trying to get it moved. There's no way a team will go out there and bite without taking a significant asset back, I would say. I mean, there's got to be like a second or something that the Canucks toss in there to make this trade go through. No team is really going to see Mikheyev as a positively valued player. I mean, even in Game 7 against Edmonton, if Mikheyev just buries that damn goal in the first period, we're maybe looking at a different finals. Who really knows? I mean, I did just wax poetic about Connor McDavid like 2 hours ago. That guy's absolutely torching things up, but I'm not saying the Vancouver Canucks would have gone far or anything. I'm just saying playoffs could have been different had Vancouver just advanced past Edmonton. Ilya Mikheyev, you had a chance to give yourself the go-ahead, to make yourself one of these legends in Vancouver. We talk about the 1-0s over the years. Rafi Torres, Game 1, Boston. Maxime Lapierre, Game 5, Boston. Ilya Mikheyev, Game 7, Edmonton. He could have been the most overpaid bum on the planet, and a lot of Canucks fans would have still found ways to say, hey, but he scored that goal. Ilya Mikheyev still did that thing in the playoffs. We're going to talk for ages about Elias Lindholm and the overtime winner he had against Nashville. We're going to talk for ages about the Dakota Joshua goal against Nashville. But no, Ilya Mikheyev, nothing for him. He was ineffective in the postseason, and I think a lot of people would have acknowledged that too. Like, looking at the stage that was the second round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, there's no GM going out there and seeing Mikheyev and being like, yeah, that's a guy we need for our team. that's a really positively valued player. It's just not going to happen like that. So agent stepping in, he's got to help out facilitate this. It's not a guarantee, of course, that Mikheyev will get traded, but it's hopefully going to help. Brock Besser and his agent didn't do a good job at that last year, but Dan Milstein, for now, it's up to you, baby. Let's see what the Canucks can get done with this Mikheyev trade. But either way, we had ourselves some more positive news in regards to the Vancouver Canucks and potential forwards that they could add. Here's a post made on the Our Canucks subreddit by Wing Ding Canuck that cites a Sat Shah quote from Halford and Bruff earlier yesterday. The audio is linked in the Reddit body's post, but Sat Shah says this: I would put it at a greater than 50% chance that the Vancouver Canucks sign Jake Guentzel. If you ask people outside of Vancouver, there's this belief that Vancouver is the favorite to land him. And this is a pretty big piece of news. I don't want to say it's guaranteed or anything, but greater than 50% is greater than 50%. That is a lot of percent. The Vancouver Canucks and the potential to sign Jake Guentzel seems like it's going to be one of the bigger conversations heading into July 1st. And the best part is, it doesn't seem like the Canucks are trying to maybe make a trade to get first dibs. Of course, if they tried to do that and they ended up succeeding, then okay, great. Patrick Allvin, do your work. Get that 8th year in the contract. But even if Jake Guentzel just goes to regular free agency and the Canucks sign into a 7-year deal, that all of a sudden is a huge acquisition. A big piece of the forward core to replace Ilya Mikheyev and play alongside of Elias Pettersson. Now, I will say, Sat Shah, one of the more respected NHL conversationalists in this city. He has this show. He has Sportsnet 650's. Okay, I was about to say Sportsnet. Yeah, no, he's like everywhere on Sportsnet. He talks about stuff on the radio. He's on TV. He's on those BCLC lottery commercials. He's one of the guys. And if he's saying that it's an over 50% chance that the Canucks sign Gensel, then I want to believe that more than I disbelieve it. Also, I will say, when it comes to Gensel, there was like a meme, sort of a meme. I don't know if it was really a meme or if it was like half real, half joking, something like that. People were talking on Twitter yesterday about how Jake Guentzel was like, this is very loose, by the way, I don't really think this is real, but it was like a joke that Gensel was reportedly house hunting in North Vancouver or something like that. Somebody said that a realtor talked to Gensel, but it was all in like a joking kind of tune, so now everybody's talking on Twitter today about, oh, what are the updates about Jake Guentzel house hunting? Oh, we saw Jake Guentzel at the supermarket, we saw him here, like, guys, Jake Guentzel is most likely not here until we see actual proof of something going on. But either way, this whole Gensel talk has gotten to a pretty strange point amongst Canucks fans, where now everybody's talking about him being in the city looking for a new house. But of course, though, that could come to fruition sometime soon if the Vancouver Canucks are able to get the contract signed, if they're able to bring back Rutherford and Allvin's golden boy alongside of Sid the Kid in the 2016-2017 days of the Pittsburgh Penguins and their heyday. But either way, Gensel coming over to Vancouver, this is not a new conversation. Him playing with Elias Pettersson will give Pettersson the winger he needs. You talk about duos, you talk about Besser and Miller, you talk about Petey and Gensel, you talk about Joshua and Garland, and then you talk about whomever else it is on the fourth line that you think could be a duo as well. I don't know, maybe like a Niels Oman and Phil DiGiuseppe or whatever. Goodness, that sounds like such a dumb duo. Is that even really worth mentioning in the same breath as the rest of the other guys? I'm not really too sure, but either way, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How would you feel about a Pettersson and Gensel duo? What are your thoughts about the Canucks reportedly having a greater than 50% chance of signing Gensel? And also, what are your opinions about Dan Milstein, Ilya Mikheyev's agent, going out there and helping to facilitate a trade for the client? What are your thoughts on all these Vancouver Canucks potential moves and acquisitions? Do you think this is the start of something new? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.